produced many fantastic paintings, literature, and people. My personal favorite is Donatello, or if you really want to get technical, Donato di Niccolo di Bettobardi. Donatello was born in 1386 in Florence, Italy. He is best known for his humanistic sculptures that showed mobility and more accurate physicality, but before we get into that, let's first learn who he really is. Donatello's father, Niccolo di Bettobardi, was a part of the wool guild Arte della Lana, which was a major guild at the time in Florence. Due to this, he played an important role in the city and made his family commercially successful. This most likely helped Donatello earn an apprenticeship later on. As a child, Donatello was taught by the Martellis, one of Florence's richest families. He then went on to receive artistic training in the workshop of a goldsmith. His first exposure was when he competed for the design of the baptistry doors in Florence in 1401. He didn't win, but he did get to apprentice in the Winter Studio, which is pretty much the next best thing. His name was Lorenzo Ghiberti, the winner of the East Doors named the Doors of Paradise, who did Gothic-style bronze work. Here Donatello learned all about the Gothic art. From 1402 to 1404, Donatello and his colleague Brunelleschi went to Rome, where they systematically studied ancient ruins for inspiration, and became the first to ever do so. After they returned, Donatello assisted Ghiberti with statues for the north door of the Florence Baptistry, which led to him being commissioned to create the St. John the Evangelist statue between 1409 and 1415. This largely jump-started his career and led to more commissions, which helped give him the title as the first sculptor to use the new concepts and techniques from the early Renaissance. Some examples of Donatello's work are St. John the Evangelist, David, and the bust of Niccolo de Uzzano. St. John the Evangelist was created in 1408 and completed in 1415. It was a marble sculpture of the apostle as a prophet and made his body anatomically accurate, and was seen as an important step away from the then current Gothic style and brought more attention to perspective in art. David in 1440 to 1443 was one of his most famous works, made of bronze and his 5 feet tall statue of David from David and Goliath. He was given delicate features such as long hair and a slim figure that made him appear more feminine. It was the first freestanding male nude sculpture since the ancient civilizations. This is the bust of Niccolo de Uzzano in 1433. It is a painted terracotta clay bust for the political figure in Florentine made short after his death. It is the first half bust of a private citizen. It was meant to be more accurate than an idolized image and emphasize Uzzano's humanity, going along with the humanist movement of that time. Now you might be thinking, okay, you told me all this stuff, but who cares? Why does it matter? Well, let me tell you why. The Renaissance is known for a time of change. Donatello was a major factor in changing the art styles during this time. His works helped move away from the typical Gothic style and into his own style that marked the Renaissance. His sculptures are very telling of this period of growth, therefore making it relevant to the Renaissance. During his time period, he influenced famous artists that also contributed to the Renaissance, including Masaccio, Andrea Mantegna, and Nanni di Banca, which made a major impact on the world in that time. He began doing more physically accurate sculptures, ultimately changing the art of the Renaissance and the world in general. He made the first bronze statue since antiquity, which is now a common metal for statues even today. Think about our art. Many popular sculptures, such as Fearless Girl and Charging Bull, are made out of bronze. His art was a bridge from classic art to more modernized art, and the lifelike statues we see today are all because of Donatello. Some famous people of today's world that are considered Renaissance men are Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and others, but one similar to Donatello is Andy Warhol. Although he's passed, he is still largely talked about, and is an artist that helped to create a new art just as Donatello did. At first glance, you of course would not see any similarities in their work physically, but both men created a new art form that grew tremendously. Andy Warhol was a major influence to the pop art phenomenon, which was very different from the classical art themes at the time, just like Donatello changing the norm of statues. Now people accept pop art and embrace it, just as with Donatello's art style. Now there may be people who can be lightly considered Renaissance men, but I truly don't think anyone holds all of that time period's ideals. The Renaissance was such a monumental time made up of contributions from all different kinds of people that it is impossible to showcase all the ideals in one person. Artists of the 21st century may try, but I personally don't think anyone will be able to incorporate all the ideals since the Renaissance was such a diverse time period. To conclude, Donatello made major contributions during the Renaissance and to the world today which will carry on forever.